my friends, this is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And I am back to bring you the next project in my picks for 2026. And if I hadn't spoke to you recently, Happy New Year. All right, this is Jay's What If. Now, my friend Seta, over at Seta's place, she is what had happened was. But over here, it's what if. And I was thinking while I was wearing, I've been wearing this one, my faux swag sweater for 2026, I started thinking, what if I had just added a collar? Wouldn't that look great? I thought right up here, what if I just added a collar, knit it on, and I would see what it looks like. So, what if we add a collar to this beautiful, I guess, winter, about over winter, faux swag sweater. And where I've used the black, and then we're going to go over to the counter, and I'll show you all the steps. But in the meanwhile, take a look and tell me what you think. What if? All right, let me get things set up, and I'll be right back. All right, my friends, I'm over at the counter, and the bird is here with me, and we wanted to show you, let me kind of give you just a quick walkthrough, because the best thing about my faux swag sweater whole collection is I have a very special faux swag sweater 101 tutorial, and I will link it over in the comment section for those that maybe are new or kind of forgot how to do it. Give you some, all the information is there in that first tutorial. And then as I have made new ones, I would go over. But now I'm at a point that I think I can just kind of walk you through the main body, unless I'm doing something real special. And this one is going to be like a what if. First of all, I was trying to use up a lot of my black yarn stash. Over the years, you know, back in the day, you know, I've not always been old, you know. Back in the day, I was young. I loved black. I did a lot of pretty black projects and things. And I would always buy black. Every sale, I'd get what I want, and then I'd always throw in a few skeins or hanks or whatever of black when I was at the yarn store or big box store. It just always came in handy, just like off-white or cream or some kind of color like that. They just always come in handy. Well, in this faux swag sweater, this one I put in a simple cable. I am thinking about, since a lot of people that are seniors that follow me, you know, we really have to be careful with black. And it is hard to knit with or crochet or anything else. Anybody can tell you. You have to be really good lighting, in a good position, and don't stare at it too long. Don't work on it too long at a time. Well, the simplest thing that I thought would be very easy is just to pick a simple cable. Cable is, the only thing you do in cable is knit a few rows and then stick in a little cross the stitches, a cable. Knit a few more rows, and then you can put another cable. You don't even have to, you know, it's not that hard, even on black yarn. So this is like I think this is, well, the best ones I like to do when I'm doing something really simple, where I don't even need a pattern. Like I say, it's just knit so many rows and decide where you want to put the cable. I like to use a 6-stitch cable or an 8-stitch cable. And they're just real simple because you just split them in half. A 6-stitch, you divide it, and you'll have 3. And usually I'll go 6 cable back. So I would take the first 3, put it in the back, knit the 3 off the needle, and then pick up the ones in the back again. Or you could go an 8-stitch cable where you simply divide it in half and you'd have 4. And then I always, of course, I stick some reverse stockinette, either 2 stitches or 3. Right now I'm on the 3-stitch kick. It just starts to look nice to me. So I'd have 3 stitches of reverse stockinette here, 6 or 8-stitch cable here, then the reverse stockinette, a cable, reverse stockinette, cable. Now if you go through and add all your stitches up, that tells you how many stitches goes in the cable panel. I call this my cable panel. It includes all the stitches, the reverse stockinette and the cable. Does that make sense? That makes it easier to put it in the back. How many stitches do you have in the back? Take off your 4 stitch borders on each side. How many stitches do you have left? Okay, now whatever this number for your cable panel, subtract it. Put the cables in the center. Whatever's left are just fill-in stitches. Their body. They just fill in the body of the sweater here and here. How simple is that? So, I am going to come back on another video and give you some a new cable that I kind of worked up, a real simple one. Just for those that maybe don't want to use black. You don't have to use black. This is a stash buster. Whatever you pick as the solid color, look in your stash and see, can you kind of match up some kind of, I don't know, tweed, or this is variegated, or you can do some kind of hand dye speckle yarn. You can match it up with whatever solid color you desire. Does that make sense? All right, take a look at that. That's the back of the faux swag sweater. Why faux? It's only half of a sweater. And I tell the story all the time. In fact, I keep forgetting to tell you, everybody reminds me, my friends remind me, Jay, if you look at your profile picture on my video, right up wherever it is, the little circle with me in it, I'm wearing a faux swag sweater from the very first video I made on YouTube. Well, I had the design at least 5, maybe 6 years before that, because I was a big tennis fan, especially when the Williams sisters were little girls. You know, now I don't follow them other places, and I'm not a groupie, and I don't follow them. I don't do social media. I just followed them when they were little girls playing tennis. And I made it. In fact, at that time, I called them tennis fan sweaters. But now I thought I'm going to give them a more grown-up name and a little more pizzazz. So, Jay's Faux Swag, not a real sweater, a swag, a faux, a swag sweater. Here's the back. Now let's move up to the top, where I'm going to share with you what if I wanted to put a collar? I don't know, I was just wearing it somewhere and I looked and I thought, man, it'd be cute to have a little collar on here. So, let's move up to the top of the faux swag sweater, and I'll be back to share with you where we're going to add our what if collar. Back in just a moment. All right, my friends, so now I'm back and to share with you how to get started in case you would like. This will work on any of my faux swag sweaters. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and make a nice, just simple, little, easy video so that you can find it anytime. The first thing I want you to do, if you're going to make a collar, when you're all finished with the faux swag sweater, all right, turn it so that you're on the wrong side of the fabric. Now, I don't know if you can see it here, but I've got my little back mark. Remember, the best thing to do is, even though most knitters can tell the right side and the wrong side, but just in case you're in a hurry or, like I say, your light's not good, you just want to make sure. So I still have my little marker right there where I have been working my sweater. Now I'm on the wrong side of the fabric, and as you can see the neckline, and you can see the faux swag sleeves going down the front. Okay, now see, we don't have to cover all that tonight. All we're going to do is what if we decide to put on a collar? That's all. I think I need to bring my camera over a little bit. Yeah, I want more on this side. I don't know what in the world is going on. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, because I'm going to start picking up over here. All right, this is what I want you to see. All right, so once you're on the wrong side, now, real quick, maybe even before you turn to the wrong side, you can put your faux swag sweater on and go to the mirror and kind of pick a place or a point as you come over the shoulders, down the front, the neckline, and see, like, okay, I want a collar. I don't want it real long. I just want a nice little collar to kind of come over. The front and give it a nice, real cozy look. All right, so all you're going to do is go up to where the neckline is bound off, where we bound off the neckline. You see that? Now just come over here and find, remember, we have a border of garter stitches. Okay? Garter stitches is where we knit on every row. And it makes the little, little garter edge. So start there where you bound off and count up maybe 10. I'm going to use 10. I'm just using 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and I get up to 10 garter ridges. See that? I count up to 10. You may want to go, a little, if you're tall, you may want to go 12. 12 or, whatever. You can just put it around your neck and see where you think a collar might look good to start and stop. So I went ahead and on the wrong side of the fabric now, I'm going to put my markers in because this is where we're going to start. On the wrong side. And then, of course, go on the opposite side on this side and count down the same number of ridges. Like I said, I'm just simply using 10. I think it'll be just fine. You're taller, you may want a few more, 12 or whatever. Now, of course, we want to get our black yarn. I'm going to use black to match the solid color. And I think that would look real cute. So whatever solid color you used on the bottom, if you got a little bit left, we're going to just pick up a nice, simple, easy collar, and we're just going to knit in garter stitch. We're just going to knit every row. We don't have to figure out anything, no border, no, just knit back and forth once we pick up the stitches. Now, if you have to lay your project down, you remember what's our best friend that can help you? Masking tape. So, just because sometimes I do different things, I got a lot of projects going on, I might start and pick up the wrong thing or whatever. So on masking tape, I'll bring this closer. On some masking tape, I had some white. I just wrote in, pick up neck stitches, and I pointed in the direction, and I put garter stitch. That's just a quick reminder so I don't have to think, oh, now where did I put that? Where did I write that? Oh man, I can't find my paper. It's right here. It's on the masking tape, and it's on the wrong side. I have my markers in, where to start. I have my markers in to match where to stop. What could be easier than that? Let's pick up stitches. All right, so I start here. Use the same needle, or I guess you could go smaller if you want to. I don't know. I don't see any reason why if you got the same needle. I take my black yarn or whatever dark color yarn you have. I come up here. I have my stitches marked. Count them again, make sure. Yeah, right here. All right, so I'm going to start right here where I have, let me check and see if I'm on. See if I'm holding over too far, if I'm right. Yeah, that's good. I can come in now a little bit just to give you a little help. All right. Now you just have to overlook those black sleeves. Okay, so here I go on my, this is one I didn't iron my cord. Okay, I didn't have time. I stick my needle in. 1 point. I take my yarn when I'm going to pick up stitches, and I just leave a little nice sized tail in case I just make a loop and leave a nice sized tail. Loop that over. Now I'm just going to start pulling loops through. There's one loop. Now I go to the next. You see in between the little bumps, garter stitches, you have these little bumps on the edge. Makes it so nice. Then you have a nice clear stitch right in the center. Can you see that? You have this nice little clear stitch. That's where I'm going, into that little hole, that little space. And I'm going to wrap the yarn around the needle. I'm going to pick it up. Now I'm still holding the tail and the yarn. And I might do it for a couple of stitches or whatever. Going to the next one. I'm still holding 2. Now stop. Let go of the tail. You see that? Let go of the tail. Now I can just go in and pick up every stitch, and if you notice, if you go into that little space, you're going up under 2 strands of yarn. It's 2 strands of yarn, and so it makes a great connection. So I'm going to just go in, and I'm just going to go up. Let's see, can I get up to the, oh, now I'm up to the neck where we bound off the stitches. This is a little tricky, that's all. We just want to make sure we get we don't want it too bunched up, but yet we don't want it long. You're just going to have to kind of pace yourself. As long as you try to get up under 2 strands or something. So right here I'm having to kind of, see there's that hole So I'm going right over here. I'm making a place for that needle. Then I go around, pull up a loop, see black. I go on over a little bit more, just as long as I don't make too big of a hole. Pull the yarn a little bit so there's no hole. I pick up another loop. Stop and look and make sure it's not a big hole or anything. Okay, looks pretty good. Now I'm going to just start going in the where I bound off on the neck, and just kind of leave yourself. It's kind of like pick up one, you might have to skip one a little bit just so that you're not too bunched up. Pick up a stitch like this, bring the loop through. Now I might have to move over move over a stitch just so that it's not bunched up. See if I can go right here. If that's not too bunchy, then I just make sure you try to go up under 2 strands. I know this is black, but you get the gist. You see, I just pull a loop through. I'm just going through, yarn over, pull the loop up. Kind of stretch it out so I can see a little bit what I'm doing. See, it's hard on this black, but stop every once in a while and take a look. Make sure it looks, looks good. Okay. And that you don't have to skip a stitch, but just make sure you're going across the back and you're going up under 2 strands. Okay, now I went in the same place. Let me move over. And this is how you're going to do. Let's just pick up a few more. Now, so you kind of get a little rhythm. And like I said, you're mainly looking just for, so you can get 2 strands. See, now that's where I started, right there, picking up. Now, the reason I want you to start on this wrong side, once we knit the collar, and it's going to take quite a few inches to knit back and forth, garter stitch, we're just knitting every row. We want this seam on the back right here to be under the collar when it folds back. The collar is here and it's going to fold back. Well, we don't want this seam to be on this side. So this is why I'm going to make sure you mark and go through the steps. So when you get ready, anytime you want to add a collar, make sure you're on the wrong side and you're starting, I guess in real time this would be the left side, but facing me, it's this side right here at my right hand. I'm right-handed. And this way the seam will be hidden when the collar folds back. Does that make sense? It's easy that you might think, oh, JS, I understand it. Then you can't remember. And then you have to pull it back and go, oh, no, my seam is showing. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong side, or I didn't do something. Okay, so now we're just going to go across. I'll do a few more, and then I'm going to knit off camera so that I can get a lot of this done because, like I said, we're just going to knit every row. You don't have to worry about setting aside a border. When you get to the end, see, I'm just doing, this is just picking up the stitches. Going up under 2 strands every stitch I can get. I got a quick tip video to show people again how to see how unruly that card is. This card is. I have a quick tip video. I don't know. I've had it for months. I just never have loaded it up. I try to keep a spare video, something simple at all times in case, I don't know. One time, I went to the dentist and I couldn't talk because my mouth was numb, And for me, when they numb up my mouth, it stays a long time. Some people recover quickly, but mine stays numb. Oh my gosh. And I'd be biting my lip and be biting my tongue. It'd be so numb. So a lot of times I would try to keep a little video. Okay, I'm kind of hurting my eye. I'm kind of not seeing good here. I'm trying to find 2 strands to go up under to make the stitch. Okay, that one is in the same one. Let's go next door here. See, can I get, okay. Now if you turn and look, or feel it with your hands, you'll see that big old thick seam that we don't want to show when you're wearing the faux swag sweater. So that's why I've got it set up, and when the collar comes out, it will fold back this way and cover this seam up. All right, that's what I need you to do. And I'm going to go ahead and do it off camera because I have a lot of knitting so that you can make sure that I show you how it looks. Up to a point, I'll come back every once in a while and check in. So go all the way to when you get over here to your stitch marker here, all you have to do is turn the work. Now you're on the right, and you'll be on the right side of the fabric, and just start knitting all the stitches back. Get to the other end, turn the work, you're on the wrong side, knit all the stitches back to this end. We're just going to knit every row. That is garter stitch setter. Oh my God, I love how she's doing. She is just, I'm telling you, I don't know how Setter gets so much done. Oh my gosh, I just be dragging. Oh, mercy. It makes me want to get up and do something. Okay, so continue, and I will be back shortly to check in and let you see my progress. All right, my friends. All right, I wanted to come back because there's the next step. I need to make sure you don't get too far. All right, so I have knit about 1 inch. So let's just all say we'll knit the back and forth on the collar for at least 1 inch. That's just to get a little something so that you can see where you're going and what it's going to look like. And all of a sudden, you should be able to see, it seems like it's kind of drawing in. Okay. It just has a little tendency because we're kind of going around a curve here of the neck. So what we need to do now is increase the stitch count. After about 1 inch of knitting, just to get the base of the collar in. You see how nice my collar is looking, going around, back of my neck. Now we want to increase, and we're just going to eyeball it because everybody's going to have a different stitch count. So you don't really have to sit and try to, count and figure out math. This is not what I don't want to get into that. I want to show you just an easy, simple way. So first of all, I'm on the right side of the fabric. I finished the wrong side. I turned the work. Now I'm on the right side. I'm getting ready to knit back. See, here's my yarn. I'm getting ready to knit back across. We're just knitting back, but it will have a tendency to pull in because we're going around. We're curving. All right. So with just eyeballing it, I'm going to stick a marker here just to say that that's the center of this curve, of this neck curve. Now what we want to do is start out right over here. I'm on the right side. The main thing is to be on the right side. And we're just going to increase. We're going to just kind of eyeball it and see if we can maybe increase 4, at least 4. If you have a bigger curve, you might try to get 5. It just, we're just going to eyeball it. So I start here, and the first thing I'm going to do, this is right here on the edge, I'm going to knit 3, and then I'm going to knit into the front and back of the next stitch. Knit 2 or 3, or 3, you can just, 3 is a good number, knit 3, knit into the front and back of the next stitch. Knit 3, knit into the front and back of the next stitch. Knit 3, knit into the front and back of the next stitch. Just to relax the collar. If not, it's going to continue to kind of pull in, and it won't lay as pretty as we want it to. So I'm just going to knit 1, 2, 3. I'm on the right side of the fabric. Now in this stitch, the next stitch, I'm just going to knit into the front and into the back. Just like that. Now I'm just going to maybe just knit. If you can't eyeball good, try counting 3. 1, 2, 3. You can see where you knit into the front and back, and then you knit 3. Then I'm going to knit into the front and back of this stitch. Then I can count 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then in the next stitch, I'm going to knit into the front, go behind, and knit into the back. Okay, you can see where you just put that little mark where we're just eyeballing it. Because we don't want to count and have to do any more math. I'm going to knit maybe 1, 2, 3. Larger sizes could try 4. You could I just didn't want you to have to sit there and try to count, especially on this black. So knit into the front, kind of go behind and knit into the back. We're increasing the stitch count, so when we get to the end, the collar will lay flat, or lay, All right, I'm getting up to my little marker, knit into the front, tilted, and knit into the back. Don't have to be exactly, don't have to be matchy-matchy. 1, 2, 3, knit into the front, and knit into the back. Now stop as we get up to that little center marker where we just eyeballed it. And already it's going to start to relax a little more. So that's the next thing you want to do once you knit at least an inch. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, people. This is black. But start with knit 3, knit into the front and back. Knit 3, knit into the front and back. All the way across. And we're going to come out and keep going right on across the back here. And so I just knit into the front. So I'm going to knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Knit into the front and knit into the back. Knit 1, 2, 3. Since everybody would have had a different stitch count, I didn't want to get into any math. I was just sharing you. Some things you can just eyeball. We just need to relax the collar, put in more stitches so when it folds back, it's not like an accordion, just so tight. It'll be a little more relaxed. 1. And see how close it's going to come out. 2. Don't have to come out perfect. 3. Knit into the front and into the back. Knit 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to knit into the front and knit into the back. Then just go knit 1, 2, 3. Then this one. And look, mine came out. Knit into the front and into the back. But yours may not. It doesn't matter. Just get as close as long as you leave 3 stitches on the edge. And then knit. You may have to knit 4 or something. Just make it work and have 3 stitches on the edge where you knit. Keep those nice and neat. So I have now, you can see my stitches are going to relax as I continue to knit. And I will come back and check in with you a little later. Continue to knit. Knit 3. The next stitch, knit into the front and into the back. All right. Let's see how, when I come back, what I have. All right, my friends, I am back. I am back to share with you what I have. And, of course, any little detail that I can help to clarify and show you how to finish. First of all, I'm on the wrong side of the fabric. I've got my little marker here. Everything that you need to keep that in. But you can tell it's the wrong side, but I'm on the wrong side. But look, you see how nice the collar looks? There's no big seam. See how pretty it looks? This is what you'll see when you're wearing it. When you look at your, when it's around your neck, this is the nice smooth area that you will see. Now, let me just for, just to give everybody a sense of what you should have. If you're short like me, under 5'2", 5'3", and under maybe, I tried to go at least 6 inches. I just knit back and forth for at least 6 inches or close to it. It might have been off a little bit, but I was tired. Okay. All right. So, but if you, of course, you're taller, then you may want to go 7. and 8 inches, just knitting the garter stitch. Knit every row back and forth. All right, now when you get to your number of inches that you say, okay, Jay, my arms are hurt, I'm tired, I think I have almost 7 inches or almost 8 or whatever it is. I stopped at, like you saw, about 6 inches. Then make sure you turn to the right side of the fabric of the sweater. When you turn to the right side of the sweater, you're on the wrong side of the collar. Does that make sense? Boy, this black, I'm telling you, every little bit of lint just wears you out trying to keep it clean. So once I turn, can you see that? Once I turn to the right side of the sweater, you can see the sweater here. And first of all, you're going to see that seam where we picked up stitches. That's the first thing you're going to feel, but you won't see it because it's going to be under the collar. Now, as I was knitting and getting up to where I wanted to stop, I went ahead to remind myself to get ready to bind off on the wrong side, on this side here. It's the right side of the sweater, but the wrong side of the collar, so I put me a little mark. And on the wrong side, just like we do a lot of the times with a lot of my projects, you're going to bind off with the knit stitch. And once you bind off with the knit stitch, all right, you just knit 2, reach back and bind off. Knit the next stitch, reach back and bind off. Knit the next stitch, reach back and bind off. On the wrong side of the collar. See? Big difference. Now, so when the collar turns back, when you finally get to wear your collar and it turns back, look, it has a really pretty bind off edge that just matches the whole sweater. Nice and pretty. And it rolls back really nice because we increased some of the stitches. Remember, we increased when we knitted the first, after knitting the first maybe inch or so, then we did the increase row. And now you have a much better shape to the collar and how it will come around the back of your neck. What do you think of that? Okay, I'm trying to think. So now, these are just things I'm thinking of. Once you maybe steam your collar into place, you still might want to tack it somewhere. You may want to take a needle and thread or something and maybe lift up the collar like this and tack it, maybe catch a couple of little threads in a couple of little places just to keep it so that you don't have to turn it down every time you wear it. You'll just go ahead and lift it up once you wear it and get it just like you want it. You know, you're going to steam it a little bit on the wrong side. Like, I don't really think you really need to steam it. You just need to put it on and find out little places that you might want to tack. But you lift up the collar. See, I'm lifting it up on the wrong side, and then I might take a little needle and thread and a yarn needle, tack it down in place. I'm trying to think of everything that I was thinking. I was thinking a whole bunch of stuff, and I can't remember nothing. Yeah, you could tack it a little bit on the edges so that you don't have to, you know, you could do that. But you want to put it on first and get the feel of how it lays. Don't just go to tacking things. Always try it on. Go to the mirror, see how it feels. See if you do need to tack some places down. Just tack them down lightly. All right, let me think. There was something else I wanted to tell you. So now let me turn it around to the front so that you can see how it looks on mine. So see, it rolls down. There's more lint. Here is. See, and then the little faux sleeves come down. Comes down the front. You know, I find, I forget to even mention this, a lot of people don't even do the tie. They just let the faux sleeves hang down in front. It looks real kind of classy and fancy. And I said, oh, I need to remind and tell people that. But now, see, there's my collar. And like I said, once you steam it, you can put, you know, you can give it a little more stretch to it. once you steam it on the wrong side and get it like that. Now let me check my camera and see how that looks. If you can see what I see. Oh, isn't that pretty? Main thing is pick up enough stitches here. The taller you are, the more stitches you're going to pick up when we first start to pick up. I'd use 10 because I'm short, but you might want to do 12 ridges, 14 ridges, or even 16 ridges coming down the fronts if you wanted to pull down more, in front. But since I'm so short, I just did 10. And that's good enough for me. I kind of tried it on and it looked great. What do you think of that? Oh, look at that. What if we added a collar to my faux swag sweater? And then here it is. Of course, weave in all your ends. Steam your collar out, kind of give it a nice little stretch as you steam it. Kind of let it fall. Nice and smooth. Look, there's no horrible seam under here in the back because it's on under the collar on that side. So, all right. There you have it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else for a last thought. In fact, let me come back. Let me kind of clear up, come back, and give you the last thought in case it pops back into my head. And you can tell me what you think. Back in just a moment. All right, my friends, I could not remember what I was going to add or take away, but I hope you have gotten a good idea how easy it is to just do a what if. I'm telling you, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes it takes what had happened was or a what if to finish a project. And I'm telling you, it's hard work, but it's wonderful when it's done, and we can bring it and present it to you, and hopefully that you like it as well. I hope you give my faux swag sweaters a try. As I said, I will link the tutorial, the educational tutorial, over in the comment section. So those that are new and have not given it a try, what are you waiting on? Where my fans at? Where my fans at? Well, there's Bird right there. Hey, Bird. Say hello to everyone. Look at the camera. I thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a nice and happy Valentine's or whatever you celebrate or whatever's coming up as we finish out the month of February. All right. I will see you soon with something else to share. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.